Now, you were talking earlier about the importance of asking the right questions, and one of the things that I think a lot about is that in our education system, and it's true all over the world, that the focus is on getting people to remember and recite the answers. And yet we live in an era today of Google, we can find anything. We live in an era of Wikipedia, we can look up and get background information on just about anything. We have calculators, we have computers. So I wondered, why do we still have an education system that's so focused on answers when the really insightful things are about asking better questions? Why aren't we, instead of having people stovepipe into different subjects to say, I have a course program that covers history and political science and biology and so forth. These things in life we know actually interconnect. It's connecting the dots between them is where the insights come from. And what I've learned in business is that if you want to be successful in building a billion-dollar business, you better have expertise in more than one domain. So as you look at recruiting talent, do you try to bring in people who have experience from more than just the domain of healthcare? Do you look for people who have consumer marketing backgrounds? Do you look for people who have technology backgrounds as well as healthcare backgrounds? And if you do, how do you bring that together and make it into a company that makes sense to everybody?
Yeah, so I think on the one hand, on the education side, the reason why we have all these sort of specific line items, if you will, and courses to take, and it's all about rote memorization, is because the flip side, dropping out of college, starting a company, not knowing the answer to things, that's A, very unpopular, B, it's very scary, and C, failure is just the essence of how you grow something. No one ever gets it right the first time. You always are constantly failing and reinventing yourself. And so for us, by its core, building a company, thinking about the questions, not the answers, it's highly unpopular. But the cool thing culturally about that is if you can get people from tons of different backgrounds. So one of the things we've done is everyone from our company is not from healthcare or from consumer or from engineering or from social. We want to bring them all together because they all have best practices and they all have things that work incredibly well. And you want to take the best of each of those products and services. So we're a highly design-focused company. Got a lot of great data and analytics talent. We have a lot of healthcare expertise. We have a ton of consumer marketing expertise because we want to bring all those worlds together and figure out what did they do for their consumer that created a unique, magical experience, and how do we weave those things together? Because health ultimately permeates almost every decision we make. And so for us, culturally, it's all about, frankly, being a little bit different. And, even by the nature of the company, I'm 25 now and I'm a fish out of water in most cases in healthcare, and that's what makes us unique. We have a different perspective of the world, and we're not as interested in rising through a consulting ladder and joining a healthcare company and trying to invent it from the inside out. We'd rather just break the door down and figure out how to ask new questions, and if that leads to new answers, terrific. If it doesn't, we'll keep asking questions.